Hello, my dear students. Welcome you all to Sri Jayendra Rank Zone classes. I am your mentor and your friend for the subject biology, and I will be taking the zoology part, that is animal science. My dear students, in the previous lecture, we have completed the types of mental diseases, symptoms of mental illness, definition of mental health, and the habit indulging practices. Like we have classified that how these habit indulging practices they affect our social status, our economic status, and our physical status and psychological status. So addiction, adolescence, we have I have briefed you the definitions. Now we are going to start with the alcoholic addiction or alcoholic abuse. The alcoholism, also known as alcohol abuse, and the major source is ethyl alcohol, that is ethanol. Okay, ethyl alcohol is consumed as a fermented beverage with low content of alcohol. Okay, the low content of alcohol is seen or it is present in beer and wine. The distilled beverages, they have relatively high percentage of alcohol, for example rum, wine, rum, whiskey and gin. Okay, so the fermentation of sugar, especially this is the sugar which undergoes fermentation. The fermentation, it happens because of the enzyme like zymase, okay, in yeast, which leads to the production of CO2 gas along with ethanol. So this is the zymase which is present in yeast, which helps in the fermentation to convert carbohydrates into ethanol. Okay. Industrial alcohol is obtained by fermentation of grains, especially the starchy grains, by the yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae. So zymase is an enzyme which is present in yeast. Okay, and industrial preparation is done by or with the help of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. It is the name of the yeast. Cerevisiae cerevisiae. Okay. So fermentation of alcohol, it leads to the formation of ethanol. Okay, and maximum concentration which is upheld by the fermentation process is 15%. Okay, so please remember the maximum concentration or the percentage which can be reached by fermentation is 15%. After this, the reaction is self inhibited because of the destruction of enzymes. Okay, so we refine it to increase the percentage of alcohol. Okay, so the maximum percentage which can be reached by the fermentation is 15%, right? Now maltose, it is also a fermented product, then it is also a fermented substrate which is used by yeast to produce alcohol, and it is the major source of commercial alcohol. Okay, the major source of commercial alcohol is molasses, okay, which is a byproduct of sugar industry. So what you have to remember that ethyl alcohol is the substrate for alcoholism, and the concentration is low. Beer and wine, okay, 6-7%, okay, uh, maximum 12%, 14%. Distilled beverages, they have more concentration, like 42% volume by volume. Okay, maximum concentration which can be reached by natural fermentation is 15%. Okay, molasses. Okay, then maltose, malt sugar is also used for the production of alcohol. Now alcohol is rapidly absorbed by the wall of the stomach and enters the bloodstream within minutes. It increases the permeability. Increases the permeability. Permeability of mucous membranes or cell membrane. Right? Consumption of alcohol causes a mild alcoholic flush. This alcoholic flush is because of increase in blood pressure, which gives the feeling of warmth, okay, and freeness. As more and more alcohol is consumed, okay, the person loses control over himself or herself. Understood? So basically, the alcohol abuse includes mainly what? When the excessive alcohol is intoxicated or it is taken, okay, which leads to impairment of physical, psychological, and physiological function. So it is basically alcohol abuse. Okay. The excessive intake of alcohol may lead to loss of balance, consciousness, and motor impairment. Some research indicates that moderate consumption of alcohol may have some protective effects as well. Okay, the moderate and the calculated consumption of alcohol can be beneficial for the person, especially suffering from cardiovascular diseases. Okay, cardiovascular diseases. Okay, so alcohol is readily absorbed from the mucous membranes and the esophagus, okay, from stomach, and it is also absorbed from the proximal portion of the small intestine, which is the major site for the absorption. Okay, the major site for the absorption of alcohol is proximal portion of the small intestine, okay, and large intestine. Okay, now after being absorbed, it enters to the bloodstream. It increases the permeability of the cell, okay, and it increases or it helps to increase the blood pressure, helps to boost the levels of adrenaline and all. So some researches indicates that moderate consumption of alcohol may have some protective effects. In some cases, the person gets addicted to consumption of alcohol and thus becomes alcoholic. Okay. Overdose of alcohol can be fatal. The tolerance level may vary. Okay. Person to person, it may vary. Alcohol has a potential to cause permanent damage to brain and other organs of the body, especially liver. The ill effects of alcohol are commonly associated with liver. Alcoholism leads to fatty liver or liver cirrhosis. Okay. As you know, alcohol is quickly absorbed from the proximal part of the small intestine and large intestine. The blood carries alcohol to the liver, where liver synthesize fat from alcohol. Okay. So liver basically synthesize fat from alcohol. Fat from alcohol. Okay. So liver is an important center for the metabolism of, you know, the excess fat reduces the formation of glycogen and structural proteins because of the overtaking of alcohol. The fat reserve increases, which decreases the formation of glycogen and other proteins. But due to the excess fat deposition, liver becomes a storehouse of the fat and fats get deposited. Okay. Now from the liver, alcohol moves to blood through heart through lungs to again heart, and then reaches to the different body parts. Okay. So the ill effects of the alcohol are mainly on the liver. From liver, it reaches to the blood through hepatic portal system. Hepatic portal system. And then it reaches to heart. Okay. Excessive alcohol consumption is detrimental to the gastrointestinal tract, GI tract. Okay. It will lead to ulcers. Okay. So the effect of alcohol abuse on gastrointestinal tract, that it can erode the mucosal membrane, mucosal lining, and cause ulcers. It can cause ulcers. Understood? Then alcohol is metabolized to acetaldehyde, which degrade or which is regarded as a carcinogen. Alcohol is further metabolized or biotransformed into acetaldehyde, which is considered as a carcinogen. Okay. Excessive intake of alcohol or alcoholism, or the person suffering from the alcoholism, they are under a constant deficiency of certain vitamins, okay, like vitamin B1, thiamine, vitamin C, Okay, folic acid, they all are deficient of all these essential, vitamins like vitamin C, vitamin B1, vitamin C, ascorbic acid, folic acid, okay, vitamin B6, B3, all are deficient, okay. Along with it, they have less amount of zinc, less amount of potassium, okay. Especially the vitamin B1 deficiency, it causes Wernicke's and Korsakoff syndrome. So that is actually need to tell you. Okay, we will be considering in the coming lectures or the coming slides. Sorry. Excessive consumption of alcohol is known as effects on various different aspects of the body, ranging from hormonal imbalance to diabetes, okay, to sexual dysfunction. So it may cause the various problems, different problems, depending upon the tolerance power of the body and the damage it is causing. Excessive consumption of alcohol causes impaired decision making, okay, impaired decision making and irrational behavior, okay, irritational behavior, okay. The person becomes irritated and it causes impaired decision making. Lack of coordination may lead to accidents and reckless behavior, which may affect the quality or endanger the life of a person, okay. Excessive consumption of alcohol causes impaired decision making power, irritational behavior, lack of coordination may lead to accidents, trauma, and reckless behavior may affect the quality or endanger the life of a person. A person may commit a crime under the influence of alcohol or to finance his addiction. The reason for resorting the alcohol or resorting to alcohol vary from stress to peer pressure or to recreation. The reason for re-addiction or resorting to alcohol may be due to peer pressure or stress or recreation. Endorsement of alcoholism in various forms of literature and movies are also said to play an important role in its widespread usage, okay, or abuse. Sometimes alcohol vendors lace it with methanol which is not suitable for drinking, methanol, and other chemicals which can lead to serious cases of methanol poisoning, which may be fatal. Okay. So sometimes alcohol vendors mix it with methanol and other chemicals which can lead to serious cases of methanol poisoning and other fatalities. Okay. So I was talking that vitamin B1 deficiency in case in alcoholics leads to Wernicke's and Korsakoff syndrome and Korsakoff syndrome. Okay. Vitamin B1 deficiency in alcoholics lead to Wernicke's and Korsakoff's syndrome. Okay. Wernicke syndrome, also known as Wernicke disease or encephalopathy, it is characterized by mental disturbance, paralysis of eye movement, and ataxia. Okay. So in case of Wernicke's disease, I will write WD, Wernicke's disease. So please remember Wernicke's disease. Okay. Or Wernicke syndrome, it is equivalent to encephalopathy. Encephalopathy, which includes the symptoms like mental disturbance, ataxia. Ataxia is lack of muscular coordination. Lack of muscular coordination. Okay. And paralysis of eye movements. Korsakoff syndrome or Korsakoff psychosis is characterized by, I will write here, Korsakoff, Korsakoff's psychosis. or Korsakoff syndrome. It is characterized by confusion, then severe impairment of memory, severe memory impairment. ठीक है ना? So Korsakoff psychosis or Korsakoff syndrome, it includes confusion and severe memory impairment. Okay. Then there are many effects of chronic alcoholism, like it also affects the immunity of the person. It affects the brain. Okay, as it acts as a depressant. Okay, then it also affects the cardiovascular system. Okay, the person suffer or the person taking large amount of alcohol, they suffer with you know uh, large LDL deposition or low density lipoproteins concentration in blood of the bad cholesterol in blood, which increases the risk of heart diseases. Okay, there is a most important term which is given, that is the Mallory-Weiss syndrome. Okay, I'll add one more slide here. Just a minute. Yeah, I'll add one more. Yeah, no, it's fine. Okay, yeah, now I get it. So I was talking about the effect of alcoholism, alcoholism, its effect on immunity. It affects the immunity. It decreases the formation of immune cells. Okay, then it acts as a depressant. Act as a depressant. That's why it affects the brain. Okay, rapid eye movement is seen. REM, rapid eye movement is seen. Okay, rapid eye movement and decreased sleep. Okay, the person's taking chronic alcoholic intake. He suffers from repeated awakenings and a sense of restless sleep. Repeated awakenings and restless sleep. Okay. Cerebrum is the affected part, most or the first affected part. Cerebrum is the first affected part okay. The person loses judgment, self-control, and willpower. Okay, the person loses the sense of judgment, self-control, and willpower. Okay, followed by its effect on cerebellum. Second affected part is cerebellum. Second affected part is cerebellum, which leads to lack of coordination of muscles. Okay, that is ataxia. Leads to ataxia. Lack of muscular coordination. There is an important term, gait. Gait is a way to walk, okay, in manner of a person to carry himself or herself. Okay, so the gait is affected because there is loss of muscular coordination. So lack of muscular coordination, gait is affected, right? Now, blurring of vision, slurring of speech, loss of consciousness, loss of consciousness, and inability to judge distances. And inability to judge distance. So these are the effects on brain. Okay. Then effect on cardiovascular system. It also affect cardiovascular system, CVS, cardiovascular system. Like the small doses of alcohol dilate the blood vessels of skin, especially of the face and stomach. Blood pressure is not affected in case of small doses. So small doses, it act as a vasodilator. It act as a vasodilator for cutaneous blood vessels, okay, and that is why it causes face blush. Okay, blood pressure is not affected. Then the moderate doses causes tachycardia. Second, the moderate dose cause tachycardia. Increase heartbeat. Okay, and there is a mild hike in the blood pressure, mild increase in blood pressure. Okay, the third one is if the large doses are taken, then they cause or they can be responsible for myocardial and vasomotor depression. Vasomotor depression may cause vasomotor depression, and there is fall in blood pressure. Fall in blood pressure. Understood? So these are the effects on cardiovascular system in case of chronic alcoholism. Now, small and moderate amounts increases the level of high density lipoprotein, okay, good cholesterol, and low density lipoprotein, and decreases low density lipoprotein, bad cholesterol. But please remember, small and moderate doses. High doses, they come up with the vice versa result. Okay. Now, Mallory-West syndrome. Mallory syndrome. Especially when a person takes dilute alcohol, optimum 10%, it stimulates gastric secretions. Okay. Dilute when 10%, increase gastric secretions. In case of acute alcoholic intake, it may cause inflammation of esophagus and stomach. Inflammation of esophagus, esophagitis, and stomach gastritis. Okay. Chronic heavy drinking can lead to a longitudinal tear in the mucosa at the GI junction. Gastrointestinal junction. So this longitudinal tear, it happens in mucosa at GI junction. This is known as what? Mallory-West syndrome. Okay, understood? Then liver cirrhosis, fatty liver. Okay, fatty liver syndrome. I've explained already fatty liver syndrome. Hepatitis, alcoholic hepatitis. Okay. Alcoholic hepatitis is basically the degeneration of hepatocytes. Understood? The hepatocytes, they become pale and they swelled up and they contain a dense eosinophilic mass called Mallory's hyaline. Mallory's hyaline. Dense eosinophilic masses, okay, in hepatocytes. Alcoholic hepatitis is considered to be a precursor of alcoholic cirrhosis. Alcoholic cirrhosis is basically the destruction of hepatocytes and fibroblasts. And fibroblast, okay, which leads to increase in the deposition of collagen protein, which increases collagen deposition. Okay. So this deposition of collagen decreases or shrinks the liver, and the liver comes up with the appearance of nodules or the formation of nodules. Okay. Then there are many more effects: effect on kidney, increased in the risk of cancer, effect of respiratory center. Okay. The direct action of alcohol on respiratory center is it depresses the brain, so it depresses the respiratory center as well. Okay. Fetal alcohol syndrome. In case of pregnancy, if the pregnant mother is taking heavy, alcoholic diet, or she is on the heavy drinking side, so it may lead to fetal alcohol syndrome, which include the disfigurement of the face of the fetus, okay, or poorly formed pinna. Fetus may have poorly formed pinna. Okay, small teeth with amyl amelogenesis imperfecta. Amelogenesis imperfecta is basically the enamel deposition of the teeth is not proper. In case of the fetal alcohol syndrome, if the pregnant lady is taking large amount of, or she is chronically taking the alcohol. Okay, so there are many more, factors which are responsible for many more effects of chronic alcoholism or chronic alcohol intake on the body. In the next class, we will be talking about the de-alcoholism. Okay, I mean, what are the different treatments and steps which are used to treat de-alcoholism, which is used to withdraw with the help, which helps the person to withdraw with this habit. Okay. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Stay safe, everyone.